just a huge honor for me today to be podcast interviewing Joy Gendusa all the way from Clearwater, Florida, where the famous Dr. Bill Strupp lives. And he's your dentist, right?
He is.
That is amazing. And I love the name Joy because that is one of my top 10 favorite songs from the 70s. By Apollo 1000. That is an amazing song. Joy Gendusa is an entrepreneur, business owner, author, established speaker, and philanthropist. She is the founder and CEO of PostcardMania, a marketing company specializing in lead generation for small to large-sized business. PostcardMania has been named to the Inc. 500 and the Inc. 5000 list and has worked with 73,792 small business owners, including over 5,000 dentists. Joy has been featured in Dental Economics every month since 2015, as well as Business Insider, Entrepreneur Magazine, Inc. Magazine, and more as a marketing educator and expert. With only a phone, a computer, and postcards, Joy grew PostcardMania from a startup into an industry leader. Today, Postcard generates more than $49 million in annual revenue, employs more than 210 people in Tampa Bay, Florida area. That is just an amazing story. And you didn't even graduate from high school.
No, I was kind of a rebel.
You were a rebel with a cause or a rebel without a cause?
Oh, definitely no cause.
No cause? You just wanted to be a rebel?
It was just, like I was 17 and thought I knew everything already, so.
I know. At 17, all four of my boys thought I was the dumbest person in the world. And by 21, they thought I was smart. So I must have really improved myself in a 4-year period. I went from being the dumbest man on earth to actually being pretty freaking smart. I want to start off with just the 4,000-pound gorilla in the room.
Yeah.
All the people 50 and over, they say direct mail's a cash cow, postcard. You mail, even if you only got a 1% return, every time you want to pay, you just mail 100 people. But it seems like the millennials come out and they're all natural, eat granola. They don't like to check the stuff in their mailbox. They throw it all away. They think, you cut down a tree. So since they grew up on Facebook and Snapchat and Instagram, they all think direct mail is dead. But anybody who knows what the hell they're doing clearly says direct mail is anything but dead. If it was dead, you wouldn't be getting any junk mail in your mailbox.
Exactly. And, we do have a harder time reaching the millennials or the younger entrepreneurs, but, we're growing year over year and not I'm the youngest of the baby boomers. So not all of our clients are my age or older. They're definitely lots in their 30s and 40s. They eventually realize, that it works.
And the other thing is, let's say you did a whole advertising campaign on Snapchat. What kind of dentistry does a 19-year-old need? But if you direct mailed every grandma that lives within 10 miles of your office, how many of them have a denture, a partial, gum disease, need implants? It seems like, walk us through your story. How did you go from dropping out of high school with a rebel without a cause to starting PostcardMania? And you know what we have so much in common? Dentaltown, I started in 98. But I graduated in dental school in 87. I started lecturing in 90. And you know what my lecture was called in 1990 all the way to 1998? Dental Mania.
Oh, you're kidding.
I always said I was the original dental maniac.
I love it.
And here you are in PostcardMania. So tell us about your journey. So were you born and raised in Florida?
Oh, heck no. I'm from Oceanside, Long Island. Where are you at?
So you're a New Yorker.
I'm a New Yorker, but I've been here for more than half my life now. I moved to Clearwater when I was 24. And really, honestly, I didn't know what I was going to do with my life. I went to the High School of Art and Design. So I'm a graphic designer that's what I taught myself how to do when computers came out, when my younger son was born. And
what year was that?
My younger son is 24. So what year was that? 1993.
So that was when you got your first computer?
Yeah, it was a 400 megabyte hard drive. And my dad bought it for me.
And do you remember the original argument of why? So there were mainframes in big companies and government. And then they were going to come out with a microcomputer, and Microsoft was going to write the software for the microcomputer. And all the smart people in Wall Street said it wouldn't work. And you know why they said it wouldn't work?
Why?
Because you had to type on it, and no men typed. Only a few girls who went to typing class, and all the smartest people said, no one's ever going to learn typing for your little microcomputer. Remember that? Did you take high school typing?
No, I took a typing class after I got out of high school, and I actually became a word processor on Wall Street, like at a temp agency. So, and I typed 26 words per minute with 13 mistakes. And they were like, you look the part, so we can place you.
But back at that time, how rare was it to be able to type?
I mean, I don't know. Not too many people typed.
Yeah, no one typed, especially men. No men typed.
But I'm fast now. Are you fast typist now?
I'm a fast hunt and pecker. Now you're on your iPhone, so now you just type with your thumbs.
Sort of. If I'm on my phone, I talk into it. I don't want to type that small.
Huh. So
you don't use the microphone on your iPhone?
I don't.
Once
Siri,
you start, you will never go back. Once you start, you'll never use your fingers and thumbs again. It's amazing.
And I just read about the new search feature where you'll turn on your camera, you'll just shine your camera at the store and it'll pull up the website. Or you can,
wow.
You can
cool.
be at a mall and just stick your camera up, and then there's the website.
I love it.
Yeah. So then on your journey, so you were in New York. Did you start PostcardMania in Florida?
Yeah.
And how did that happen? You were a graphic artist, so you decided you design postcards?
Well, sort of. I was a graphic designer, and I had, a bunch of random clients, and then I got this one really big client that I started brokering printing for, and I could see that they were like 80% of my business, and I could see that they were going south. And I thought, I got to come up with something where I'm not doing every single job in the company. I had about 10 staff at that point. And I received an advertisement in the mail from a postcard company that was only selling to the trade. And I ordered some postcards from them, and I had a terrible experience. They wanted to, the cards weren't really good quality. They were $425 for 5,000. And this was in 1998. And they basically put their 800 number on my art that I sent them, on the design I sent them. I sent it to them on a CD overnight. They sent me back a proof overnight, FedEx, couldn't email that stuff. And when I called them up and told them to take the 800 number off, they wanted to charge me $50. I asked to speak to the supervisor. The supervisor, again, made me feel like I was a dumb person who didn't read the fine print, but took it off and told me next time I would have to pay. I hung up the phone. I said to my 4 or 5 staff that could hear me, we're starting a PostcardMania. We're starting a postcard company, and we're going to call it PostcardMania. Basically, that's how I got the idea, just from a bad customer experience. I haven't taken any money from anyone. I grew the entire thing organically. So it was just me and a few people in the beginning. And we did it all with marketing.
That is amazing. And I loved I first came across you when you and Tom Giacobbe did an article in Dentaltown.
Yeah, that was a while ago.
And so what's got you passionate now? Are you basically, everybody thinks they're going to graduate from dental school, $350,000 in debt, and build their dental business on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
Oh, that's not going to happen. We both know that.
I know. So yeah. What do these young kids need to know? Well, first of all, you always have to know your biases. That's why you got to stay humble, because just because you're born into a belief system doesn't necessarily mean it's true, and just because you grow up on Instagram and Facebook doesn't mean that that's what is the best business decision.
Yeah, I mean, now we use Facebook and Instagram for ourselves because you kind of have to be out there, but it's not where we get our leads in our business. And after working with so many dentists, it's like we have it down to a science. Like we know how to get new patients into a practice. We know what works and what doesn't work. Sometimes the dentists are a little bit bossy and they're like, no, I don't want to do that offer. Or I don't want to have my card look like that. And we're like, listen, we know that if the card has mostly blues, if you have 2 to 3 offers, if we know exactly what needs to go on the card to get the phone to ring. So it's really what makes me passionate is educating. That's why I'm so excited to do this with you, because we know how to do it. It's not we don't have to reinvent the wheel. With 5,000 dental clients, we know exactly how to get new patients.
Other people have said on this show that blue is a color that exudes trust, whereas like yellow and red or McDonald's colors are like fast and in a hurry. You like blues?
We just find, I could care less about the color. What we do is we track the results of every campaign that we do. So I can tell you that the campaigns that do the best are mostly designed in blue.
Have you told the Tampa Bay Buccaneers this? Those are that red, orange, pewter thing is.
Well, thank God they're not dentists and they're not, trying to work on anybody's teeth.
Do you think the Buccaneers were doing mushrooms when they decided on that color scheme?
I don't know.
So first of all, let's back up. Who is the target market? I mean, we've always heard for 30 years that women make the majority of all the dental offices. But do you think that was a grandma and grandpa baby boomer thing? Do you think it's true in millennials? When you're writing a postcard, let's just start off there, male, female. Who are you aiming that at? A mom or a dad, or a boy or a girl?
We're not actually, well, definitely the parents. We're not aiming it at a kid. And I would say that we're mostly probably aiming it at the mom, but we don't design the card specifically for the mom. It's really for anybody. I mean, aren't there like 57 genders now or some ridiculous number? We're just designing the card for the recipient, for anybody that needs to have their teeth fixed.
We just podcast interviewed the first transsexual dentist that I'm aware of. And Annie told me that all we need to do is go male, female, gender non-specific, gender non-inclusive.
Okay.
But I have heard studies from the medical world that over 90% of the appointments are made by women. Some studies I've seen said 92% are women, but you don't think that really matters?
It really depends on who you're targeting. Like different practices want to target different individuals. If the practice is targeting people who are not elderly, but retired people, then, we're going to put people on the card that are in that age or that are younger than that age, because everybody sees themselves looking younger than they really are. So we're not going to put a couple of gray-haired people on it. We're just going to have late 40s looking people with great smiles as the people. Like, it depends on who you're targeting. If you're targeting families, we'll throw kids on the card and families on the card. If you're targeting millennials, we put millennials on the card. And the post office has some good stats actually on male working on millennials, on them actually responding to direct mail. So.
And what do they say?
They say, gosh, I wish I had that number in front of me. I have it in a PowerPoint somewhere, but I don't know it off the top of my head. It's something like 78% of millennials have responded to an ad or have purchased something due to a direct mail piece or something like that.
Yeah, my homies right now listening to me they're all commuting to work. That's why it's an hour-long program. They're an hour commute. I always retweet my guest on my Twitter at Howard Farran. You're at PostcardMania. I just retweeted your last tweet, and it said, dentist, want to see how this New York NC practice generated 176 calls and 50 new patients. What I found interesting about that is exactly the industry, what the data we find. It takes 176 opportunity calls to convert into 50 people butts in the chair. And
interesting.
If you train that receptionist, a good receptionist, someone who went to like the scheduling institute or someone you just put to sales conventions, that 176 calls could have easily been 100 new patients. And that's why you feel sorry for people like you who advertise with dentistry, because when you're doing postcards for a real business, they take those leads and they take them seriously and they try to convert them. And when you call, they answer by the third ring. And if you want to talk for 3 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, it don't matter. They'll sit there till they close the call. You call a dental office, half the calls go to voicemail, and the other half, they say it's a question, but it's not. They're like, "Can you please hold?" Boom. It's like I didn't even have the chance to say hell no, and I'm already on hold listening to music, and they and some offices are actually 4 new patient opportunities to convert one. So if any of your clients ever say, "Well, I did PostcardMania and it didn't work," what you should do is you should call them, call the office 10 times.
We do it.
And record the phone calls, then send it to the dentist.
We do it. And we also, one of the things that we do in our direct mail pieces is we offer these 3 add-ons, one of them being a call tracking number. So we can see exactly how many calls went to the practice from that card, and we can even listen to those calls to see what happened. Did they, and that's really valuable for the dentist, because if they say, "Hey, we didn't get any new patients out of this," we could say, "Listen, log in and listen to these calls and see what your front desk is actually doing. You're spending a ton of money to get new patients and they're losing them for you."
So what call tracking software do you use for the call tracking number? What do you do that in-house, or do you use an outside service?
We do everything in-house. We actually have a product called Direct Mail 2.0, and it adds a call tracking number, a mail tracking code, so that they can actually log in and see when the predicted delivery date is for that mail piece and when the actual delivery date is. And we also do Google remarketing. But we can't do remarketing for dental because of HIPAA. So we have the new, what we call the new patient edition. And what we do there is we do geo-targeting around the practice, also where the cards hit, so that everyone who gets a postcard and everyone else is going to start seeing ads that look like that postcard all over the Google network.
Nice. My God, that is you're extremely sophisticated. That's amazing. And you're up to, how many? 49 million and 200 employees?
210 employees. We'll crack 50 million this year. That was last year's number. We'll probably do about 52 this year, I'm guessing.
So where'd you get that entrepreneurial genes for? Was your mom and dad?
Daddy. Big old daddy. My big old daddy, Bernie Leibowitz.
What did he do?
My dad, he's 87 years old now, and he's retired when he was 56. He had a transportation brokerage, and it was sort of a very gray area business. There was no regulation when he did it. Kind of made it up. So he would, if you're a manufacturer but you're too small to have your own fleet of trucks, he would put the manufacturers together with the trucking companies, and the trucking companies would pay him a commission, and he would get the business from the manufacturers. So he did that for my whole childhood. Dad left at 6 a.m. and got home for dinner at 6 p.m.
Well, I'll tell you, if the only thing your dad ever teaches you is to a work ethic and to take a risk and bet on yourself instead of being an employee for someone else, that's one hell of a dad.
He's an awesome dad, but he calls every single day to find out where our numbers are at. He's pretty adorable.
Oh, that is so amazing. That is so damn cool.
Yeah.
That is very cool. So, what's the industry expected return? Is this still 1% return is considered an A, or is that too high?
We don't even. We tell people, listen, there's so many variables that will determine what your response rate's going to be. I can tell you that it's 1 to 1.5% as an average, but averages are kind of BS if you ask me. It depends on if they're in a city, how many dentists are in the same area that they are, how many of them are marketing, how many of them are marketing consistently, are they in an urban area, like how many households are there? There's so many variables to understand what your specific response is going to be, and we can definitely share all that knowledge with the dentist so that they can understand what they're going to get.
Do you like the movie Shark Tank?
I'm not. I've seen a couple of them.
So why don't you like it?
I guess it frustrates me a little bit. I feel like I don't like the attitude of the big entrepreneurs, the
The
way they
sharks.
are. Yeah, the sharks. I'm a very gentle business person. Like I'm not one of these, I want everybody to win and I want everybody to be happy and I want the price to be great for the buyer and that we make a fair profit. I'm just like one of those
The thing
people.
I hate the most when they bully, like, you have to answer me now. You can't listen to any other offers.
Oh,
Like,
yeah,
it's
I
like
know.
that's bullying. I mean, that's
I
just
know.
classic bullying. But
I
what
don't
I
think it.
do like about them
Yeah.
is, regardless of their personalities or lack of personalities, um, I like the fact that they seem to consistently ask the same 10, 20 questions, and dentists consistently could never answer any of those questions. Like, one of the first questions they ask if you're selling something online is, well, what is your new patient acquisition cost? And so if you ask a dentist, okay, well, when you get 20 new patients a month, what is your patient acquisition cost? They couldn't tell you the acquisition cost from direct mail or word of mouth referral or a billboard or other. And then you say, well, when you acquire that patient, what is your average new patient spend? No, no idea.
Oh, I feel
Yeah.
like a lot of our dentists can answer that. We get a lot of different answers, but we do get them to answer that. Lifetime value.
And okay, lifetime value. So they just all say 6,500 because they.
No, we get anywhere from $2,500 to $5,000. Different answers in between there.
So they tell you 2,500 to $5,000.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so they read something 10 years ago. It's about for the United States of America, it's $6,500, and the dentist will recoup it on average over 60 months, 5 years.
Uh-huh.
Whereas the orthodontist, same $6,500, but they'll recoup it over 24 months. But
Uh-huh.
but they and this causes them to overlook one of the greatest marketing schemes in all of dentistry is when your dad, 87, you said,
Yeah.
retires across the street and he puts up his practice for sale, and you say, well, okay, he's selling it for this much money and he's got this many charts, and if your average acquisition patient was $150 per person and he's selling these people at $100 a head, and then when your dad says, well, I sold my office to this young lad across the street, that's third person endorsement, so it implies trust, and hopefully maybe one of their staff comes with it. So these are just massive numbers that if you didn't know on Shark Tank, they'd always say, well, you know what really disappointed me is that you don't have a firm grasp on your numbers, so I'm going to pass. I mean, they always say if you don't know your
Yeah,
numbers,
it's true.
they're always going to pass. So
Yeah.
so if one of my homies went to postcardmania.com, what
Hmm.
would they find?
Oh, they'd find tons of case studies. They'd have to look specifically for dental. They'd have to go to industry and find dental, but there's a ton of dental case studies. Dental, out of the 350 industries that we have serviced, I would say that dental is probably the one that we do the best and know the best.
Why is that? You just say that to me
No,
because if I was a
no,
chiropractor.
no. Seriously, I would not say that because dental is, first of all, dentists, everybody needs to get their teeth fixed. Everybody. So it's an awesome business to be in, and they bank. If they know what they're doing, they know how to make money. So they have a marketing budget. So we've been able to do so many campaigns over the 18 years I've been doing this, and test them out and get all the results and come up with exactly what works, that we know how to get response for them. Most chiropractors are the worst. You can never get them back on the phone. And I love chiropractic, but getting them on the phone and getting them to spend a dime on marketing is like pulling teeth. So we don't even target chiropractors. So I'm telling you, dentist is our top industry. It's the one that we're best at.
Do you find it a moral dilemma for yourself to help lawyers? I see you have attorneys on your list too.
It depends on what kind of
You
law they do. I do
no.
have. There are some industries that I will not service, but I
um,
won't service a
so you say something
psychiatrist.
very profound. The one thing about dentists is, they're smart. They got 8 years of college. They've read, if you ever spend the night with one, they've always read 100 or 1,000 nonfiction books. So when it comes to marketing, they always think the best idea, since all they know is that they're always the smartest person in the room, so they should design their own ad. So you say you don't have to reinvent the wheel with your dental office marketing. In fact, we strongly advise against it. We have delivered thousands of dental marketing campaigns and have tracked the results, so we already know what is the best. But it seems like dentists always think, well, how could you design a dental ad? You're not a dentist. I'm a dentist. I can walk across my swimming pool without getting my shoelaces wet. I'm a doctor of everything who just happens to do dentistry on the side. And then they so go write an ad with a bunch of bloody, gory pictures and say, we do root canals, we drain abscesses, we get the bugs out of your gum disease. What do you think works in a postcard? You were saying you like the color blue, which other people on this show have said builds blue is a color that's soothing and builds trust.
Exactly. We found that blue is really good. We have found that 3 offers, like 3 different deals, offers, coupons, whatever you want to call them, work really well. Having a picture of the dentist on the card, for sure, a must. A map. We also want to see a 5-star review that we usually will pull it off of their Yelp or pull it off of their Google reviews or pull it off of whatever software they use. You know, we can find them easily enough. And we always want the call to action to be a different color than the rest of the card that doesn't really match the card necessarily. That's very hard to get a dentist to agree to, but we know that making the call to action a completely different color drags the eye involuntarily to that call to action as the last thing that they'll see and the first thing that they'll see. So, you know, how's that?
I like that. So, okay, so you said blue, then you said 3 offers. What offers do you think work? Is it for cleanings, bleaching, bonding, veneers?
Yeah, let me see if I can see some of these. They're a little bit small and I'm a little bit blind on what I'm looking at right now. But usually giving them a, like the intro package, and it depends on the area that you're in, but a checkup and x-rays all for $99 is something that's good. Free whitening for life is another one that's good. Let me see if I can get some of these. I have so many of them. And we're giving away like an awesome full report to anybody who, like a very comprehensive report with tons of case studies for anyone that listens to this podcast. And all of these offers are in there.
Well, do it for me. For my Today's Dental. I'm here in Phoenix.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, it's my dental office, todaysdental.com.
Mm-hmm.
And for the picture,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if anybody notices it, but I actually have a picture of Marky Mark in there for me. I just dropped his picture in there. It seems to work well. When they come to the office, they go, "Are you really the dentist?" And I'm like, "Yeah." So a picture of Marky Mark, and then a map, a 5-star review.
You're like hilarious. I mean, I don't know. Do your other guests just sit there cracking up like I am? I mean, you are hilarious.
But yeah, I would like to do that. And, well, that's a big part of my secret sauce is that, it's one thing to talk about, a dentist, how to run a dental office, but I've had a dental office for 30 years. I mean, I recommend products that I use. I've done every damn dental procedure that you can think of. So it's fun. It's kind of a yin yang to actually do it.
How do you think Strep did? Did he do good?
So what did he do? What did he do on you?
My God, he did everything. I went in there and I said, "Hey, I was thinking of getting Invisalign or something." And he goes, "Oh, you can, we're not straightening your teeth until we handle all the pathology." I'm like, "What pathology?" And he's like, "Oh, you're a hot mess." So basically, I needed gum surgery. He redid
Which periodontist did he send you to?
He sent me to, oh God. I'm sure
the periodontist told you he was a god, so you got it close. You said, "Oh God."
Yeah, the periodontist, I actually hooked his son up with one of my girls that work for me, and they dated a little bit, and I can't think of his name. Melker. Dr. Melker.
Dr. Melker. Danny Melkers. Danny Melkers.
Yeah.
Daniel Melker. He's got several. He's got like 10,000 posts on Dentaltown. But no, Strupp, I mean, I have flown down to Clearwater, Florida several times where he's had 1,000 people in a hotel and given a
Amazing.
lecture.
Yeah.
And Danny Melkers is they're just two intense perfectionist people.
Yeah. Yeah.
And most dentists are kind of, laid back and, it's a great profession, but these guys are just intense. They're just intense. So I know what my homies are thinking. They're thinking, okay, Joy, look, here's the deal. I already pay every month. I pay all my bills. I pay my rent, mortgage, equipment bill, computer insurance. I pay all my bills. You know what I need? I need another 10 new patients a month. If they called you up and said, Joy, I need 10 more new patients a month, what would you tell them?
I would tell them they probably should do about 6,000 cards a month, and they definitely should do direct mail 2.0. That's what the call tracking and the mail tracking and the Google retargeting, or not retargeting for dental, just geo-targeting. And I would tell them that there's no, one-shot wonder. Like if you do it once, you're going to have 10 new patients a month. It's something that you have to do consistently. And all of our dentists that are consistent marketers are all continue to use us and all have great results. Like we have tons of video case studies. So the guys who are consistent are the ones who wind up getting giving us the case studies. So it's really successful to be consistent.
Well, check out my Today's Dental. I'm in 85044, and I attract also 8504.
Wait a minute. What is it called?
I'm Today's Dental.
Today's Dental?
Yeah, TODAYS Dental.
Okay.
And and basically it's really weird because I'm like across the interstate from Tempe, but almost nobody crosses the interstate to go to a dentist. You know what I mean? The interstate is kind of like it's a mental barrier. I've had so many dentists say that you can be right up to a river in Pittsburgh, but you'll get almost no one from across the river. But you might get people from 7 miles the other direction.
That's interesting.
But it's freeways, rivers, parks. They're kind of natural barriers to cross.
Nice site.
Is it a nice site?
Yeah, it's very nice. I mean, the colors are the right colors.
Well, send it. My email's howard@dentaltown.com. My office manager is robert@todaysdental.com. But I'd like to do this because I've heard nothing but good things about you. In fact, your last article was so long ago. You should do another article about this, about the color, because really, dentists always want more new patients. But where did you pick 6,000 cards a month? And you've already said 3 times. You've already used the word 3 times, geo-targeting. But I don't think anybody listening to this show knows really what geo-targeting is.
I apologize.
So where did you get the 6,000? Why wasn't it 5,000, 7,000?
Because
and wouldn't it have sounded better if you said 6,218? Because then they think, damn, she really has a reason for that number.
Yeah, but the thing is that's a great place to start. It's just a really good place to start to see for 10 new patients a month. If you need more than 10, we have doctors that are doing 24,000 pieces a month. We print in increments of 6,000 or 5,000. So we've done so many mailings of 6,000 that's a number. That's our go-to test campaign to see what, once you're doing it a few months in a row, to see what the results are. And then at that point, because we can't do all the work for the dentist, we can't look at we can tell them how many competitors are surrounding them, but we don't know how well they're marketing. And we can also tell them the number of households. And we can also tell them how many people are searching monthly for a dentist online. But I can't go in and do, blind shopping their competitors and do all that other stuff. So we have to give them something to start with to test and see what they're going to get from it.
Well, the greatest marketing campaign ever done in dentistry is when Walter Palmer went to Africa and shot Cecil the lion. So I want to remember that? You remember that?
I do remember that.
They crashed his server. So what I want to do is I want to get a picture of me at the Phoenix Zoo shooting. They've already done a lion. I want to shoot like a hippo or a giraffe or a rhino.
Animal, like a caged animal.
Yeah, I want to be that.
Yeah, that'll help you practice.
Yeah, I want to. My website will get so many hits, it'll probably crash. So more questions about urban rural. Like you're in Clearwater, Tampa. How many miles away from an office would you mail to? as opposed to you were in some small town like Beaumont, Texas?
Okay, so
Urban, rural.
well, basically, here we would probably go a good 5 to 6 miles out
In the city?
in Clearwater, like from the practice, surrounding the practice
5 to 6 mile radius.
radius
So
of
a
the
10 to
practice.
12 mile diameter.
Yeah, because I've driven. I mean, now I go to Dr. Rodriguero, happens to be very close to where I live, but I've driven, and Strupp actually is 2 blocks from my office, but that's not why I picked Strupp. I picked Strupp. I would have driven anywhere because he was a really good recommendation. But I've driven. I did go to another guy briefly when I learned about that I needed the what do they call it, the laser, and this guy did it in his practice, and I drove quite far. But then he told me I didn't need to do it. He said it was BS. So, I mean, he was like, "You're not there yet," and I.
So
Less
you
is more.
say 5 to 6 miles in the city is what you postcard mail through. At
Well,
10 to
it's
12.
not a city, not a city. I mean, if you're in New York City, I would say a couple blocks,
Yeah.
It depends on how dense the city. This is a town. So I would say this is kind of suburban. I would say 5 to 6 miles. I would say rural, 20 miles. I would say in a city, it really depends on the city. I would ask the dentist to look at all the addresses of his patients and who's the furthest away, like sort your list by zip code and who's the furthest away and how many people are coming from that far, or so that we could see what's real.
I'm across the street from the Guadalupe Indian Reservation. Do you also do these flyers in Spanish?
Oh, absolutely. Sure.
And then when you're like flyers, say like when you're doing Kansas, do you just take away all the words and go to like the pictures on the
Pictures
Waffle
only?
House menu
Oh, my
and the
goodness
IHOP and
gracious.
just have pictures of everything?
You are hilarious. Oh my goodness gracious.
No, I could throw Kansas under a bus because I was born and raised there, and that's probably would be a great idea. I would
Oh
I
my
would do a
goodness.
Waffle House IHOP postcard.
Oh my goodness.
So 6,000. So what would the 6,000 cards cost? And then is it one
Good
price?
question.
Is it
I have
one
no
price to
idea.
print and mail, and then an upgrade to do the geo-targeting? And
Yeah.
please explain geo-targeting in detail because I don't think any of my homies understand that.
Okay, yeah. First, let me explain geo-targeting. So basically, what we can do now on Google is we can do a radius around your practice and have everybody who goes online see ads that look like the postcard you're sending. So let's say we're mailing to specific demographics and we're not mailing to every single household surrounding your practice. Like we're only mailing to, let's say, 6,000, but there's 15,000 households in the radius, right? But we're picking particular demographics. So all 15,000 households will see these ads. So we're targeting them geographically, thus geo-targeting around your practice. And that way, where whoever gets your postcard and also everybody else in the area are going to see these ads literally hundreds, sometimes thousands of times. They're just going to see them everywhere. That's geo-targeting. In terms of price, I have no freaking clue. I haven't.
So geo-targeting is when you're combining a direct mail piece postcard with Google stuff.
Right.
It's just Google. It's not Facebook or Twitter or LinkedIn or.
Right. It's just Google. It's just the regular Google sites in the Google network.
And what about Bing?
Yeah, they'll be. We tend to use the Bing, the Google network, but if you're on Bing and that's your search engine, you're still going to see them because even if you're using Bing, which is about this big it's like tiny compared to Google, that doesn't, just because you use Bing as your search engine, it doesn't mean that you're only seeing websites in the Bing network. You're seeing most sites you see are in the Google network.
When you're at a party and someone tells you they use Bing, you just kind of like walk away.
We just kind of throw my head backwards and belly laugh. No,
I mean, you figure something either went wrong in their childhood or they really need to stop drinking. They've had one. They've had one too many, and they need to eat some food. Yeah, that is. And what was Microsoft's encyclopedia when they came out with it? What is What was it? Encardia?
Yeah, Encarta. Yeah.
Encarta? Yeah. It's like, yeah. Why don't you do a search on Bing for Encarta and get back to me? I'm pretty sure everyone else Googles Wikipedia, but you
Yeah.
go Bing search on Encardia. Um, yeah, interesting. So what you don't know what that would spend, but do you have an idea
I have an
on?
idea. I have an idea. Let me just look at my. I mean, I don't know what the lists cost anymore. I can find out easily enough. I have 33 marketing consultants that know all the pricing.
So what are your marketing consultant? What do you mean a marketing consultant?
A marketing consultant is someone who will ask the dentist or anyone they're talking to all the right questions to figure out what's going to be the best campaign for them. They're all very intricately trained by me.
Do you separate these consultants based on geographical region, like I'm a consultant for Florida or Texas, or is it based on occupation, like attorneys, chiropractor, dentist?
Yeah, industry specific, so that they really can learn the
So how
most
many how
about
many do you have in dental?
11.
You have 11 dental direct mail consultants.
Yeah, but they do other industries too. They're not exclusively dental, but
Well,
11 of them.
you know what might be a fun follow up to this, Ryan. Do you remember the Brady Bunch?
Oh, I love the Brady Bunch. Are you kidding?
And we can on Skype we can do 4. You know what? We should come back on that show. We've done the CEO, the founder, the owner. You could come back with 3 others, or you could come back with 4 new ones, and we
Uh-huh.
could do the Brady Bunch where we just have them go around
Oh, we can do
talking.
that.
Yeah,
Talking dental marketing? Oh, we can definitely do that.
I think that would be fun to have a Brady Bunch round table. You know, where there's 4 people on the screen
That would be super fun.
talking
Make me
about people
super
doing
into it.
dentistry. And for those old farts out there that think advertising is bad for the industry, it's immoral and it's all that. I noticed one of your categories is church growth. So churches use this, right?
Yeah.
So it can't be you can't really go to hell for direct mail if the churches are doing it. I mean, my 2 older sisters are nuns, and I'm sure they would be very opposed to any form of advertising for a
Really?
church. Yeah.
Why? Why? Why would they be opposed to that? They get people,
They don't even think
back to
Lutherans are going to
God.
heaven.
No, they're getting people going back to God. I mean, there's a lot of,
But yeah, it's just different taboos. You know what I mean?
Oh, I guess, I
There's
guess.
just so many taboos.
Yeah.
But yeah, but that I find that interesting that when I was getting in trouble in 87, 88, 89 for advertising and a lot of dirty looks and all that stuff, I would have all these flyers from 18 different churches in 85044. And I'm like, dude, the 2 Lutheran churches are mailing to my mailbox. I mean, how come in fact the only church that never sent me a direct mail piece was the Catholic Church.
Really?
Well, yeah, well they've specialized in one thing, and that is losing market share for the last 2,000 years. I mean, Europe was 99% Catholic at 1500 AD. So now they're not. What are they? 11%. So they specialize in losing market share. But these are just jokes I love to say to get my sisters to slap me. So what other advice do you think you should be giving my homies?
Let's see. Let's see. Really honestly is look at what the successful dentists, the large practices are doing. Look at how much they're spending on marketing. Look at how they're handling their front desk. This has all been done, and it's been done super successfully. So if you're not winning, you're just not looking in the right place for the answers.
That's good. And back in the day, they used to always people would mail dental offices these flyers that you could get a list of all the new people that moved in your zip
Uh-huh.
code that month. Is
Mhm.
that and then it's really different from if you look at the data pre-building the interstates. It was like before the interstates, it was like 90% of people were born, raised, and died and never went 90 miles away from their home. Now with this extensive interstate airplanes, 10% of Phoenix flips every year. I mean, that is just amazing.
It's huge. Yeah.
10%. So do you what do you think about the new patient mailing? Are you into that? Should
Yeah,
that be
we have a program. We definitely have a program. It's called New to Town. and it's on automatic, and you can decide if you want to do, 500 or 1,000. We'll tell you, what the monthly average is surrounding your practice of how many people are moving to town. And then definitely, we want to say, welcome to the neighborhood. We make those cards personalized. So they'll say, hey, Joe Smith, welcome to the neighborhood, or whatever the person's name is. And it'll say we have, a special offer just for you. Obviously, you need a new dentist. Anyway, we're into the program for sure. And they can choose the quantity that they want. It's just on automatic.
Well, man, I'm thinking a zip code, like a dentist zip code in a city like Tampa. I mean, I wouldn't even think there'd be 500 people moving out and in that zip code.
Yeah.
It is?
Oh,
It is high?
yeah. It's high. Yeah, you'd be surprised.
I know it's a very transient family. I have patients where it's so funny. I have like 3 or 4 families where their biggest regret in life is that their daughter had a chance to go overseas for a semester to study her major or whatever, and they thought, well, that'd be really cool that she goes and studies in London or Paris or Germany for a semester, not realizing that she met a boy
never
over
coming
there,
home.
fell in love, and now their grandbabies are in Germany, and they blame it all themselves because they were the idiots that paid for her to go to another country and study school for a year. And but yeah, it's just I don't think too many dentists sit down and think about how transient their backyard is.
It's pretty crazy. It's people, it is. I mean, the stats are out there. So anybody, any practice, I can tell you what the average is and whatever mile radius surrounding the practice that they'd be interested in, how many new families are moving to town.
Huh. Oh. Well, so I can't believe that 50 minutes over gone by. I only got you for a few more minutes. These kids walk out of dental school, and after 8 years of college, they start their own business. They don't know how to do payroll on Quicken Online. They don't know that they don't know any business. They just know none. And so if you talk to that little girl, she's 25. She just walked out of dental school. She's going to go to some small town in Wisconsin and start her own dental office in this retail shopping mall next to a Starbucks. What does she need to know about marketing?
She needs to know that in the first year, she's going to spend way more on marketing than she is in year 2 or year 3. And that building the practice and making it viable is what she has to have most of her attention on, aside from doing good work. And if she goes to our website, we have a case study. We have a video case study up. A young woman, I don't know her age, but she's a very attractive young woman that we recently flew out and did a case study of her, and she was a brand new practice, and she gives all the details of exactly what she did. I wish I knew them by heart, but I don't.
That is the case. I'd like to remind her also that when Hollywood does a $100 million blockbuster movie, they only spend $50 million doing the damn movie. They spend the other $50 million marketing the movie, and that was a big thing. That's not fair about everybody always talking about Walt Disney. Everybody always talks about Walt Disney. Walt Disney was crazy, nuts, and insane, and would have gone completely bankrupt every time it wasn't for his brother. And if you get into the details of the Disney deal, his brother would give him a budget, and Walt would never be done with his cartoon. And his brother had borrowed the money and scheduled the marketing with the other half, and he would tell him no. And his brother would literally have a conniption that it's not done, we need to change the ending. And his brother would say, dude, it's a cartoon and it's for kids and you ran out of money, okay? It's over. It's over.
Can I tell you something?
Yeah.
I interviewed Mike Lindell, the My Pillow guy, yesterday, and for my newsletter. And his business did $280 million last year, and he spends $1 to $2 million a week on marketing.
Yeah. And you would never know who Walt Disney was if he didn't have a brother who's nose to the grindstone telling this crazy artist guy drawing mice that no, that's the ending. End of story. We're going to spend the rest on marketing if we don't spend money. And dentists will go build this amazing office and all this equipment, buy lasers and CAD cams and all this stuff. And then you say, well, what was your marketing budget to launch this business? And they're like, what? What? Well, if you build it, they will come. Dude, that's a Disney movie. That was a fictional movie and you believed it. You know? You have to budget marketing, otherwise you're not going to get a patient.
You're like my new favorite person ever.
But well, you know what? You're in Clearwater. You ought to come to our. We have an annual meeting every year for 15 years. We've always had it in Vegas, but now that I'm a grandpa and I got 2 grandkids, I'm moving it to starting next year. We signed up the next 2 years in Orlando.
Oh, wonderful.
It's April 11th to April 14th in Orlando. But you know, I love dentists. I am a dentist. I've been a dentist. I mean, I get it. There's nothing more fun than getting a patient out of pain or a cosmetic emergency or fixing their tooth. I mean, a fireman wants a fire. The policeman wants to catch the bad guy. We just want to fix something broken with our hands in your mouth and our surgery. I get that. So my job as a leader is trying to say, okay, I get that, but you need to go stick your nose over here, because if they did this type of stuff, they'd get to do a lot more what they love. I mean, if all you want to do is root canals, then you should call Joy Gendusa at PostcardMania, and then you can do what you love to do. But you got to be a businessman and a dentist. Just like that guy, you said he's making pillows?
Yeah, the My Pillow guy. You don't know the My Pillow guy?
I've
Mike
seen his commercial.
Lindell?
They're all made in the United States. What is it?
Yeah. 1,500 employees, 280 million in revenue, and 1 to 2 million a week on marketing. $75 million a year on marketing.
Yeah, and when they're trying to sell your 6-year-old little daughter who doesn't even know her last name or what country she lives on to go see a movie made with mice and princesses and Donald Ducks and all that stuff like that, it's marketing. Everything is marketing. In fact, Ryan, hand me those 2 books there. Last plug for one of my buddies. One of my favorite books is, you ever read this one by Fred Joyle, Everything is Marketing?
No.
That's the guy who used to own 1-800-Dentist.
Oh, okay.
And he had another one called Becoming Remarkable. But the bottom line, everything is marketing is, you know, the old school guys, they want everything done by word of mouth referral. And
it's not that way anymore. You can't fill a practice that way anymore. You just can't.
And it's just, and then back to what I say. I mean, if you love, you know, pulling teeth, doing root canals, crowns, I mean, the best way to do more of what you love is just get a lot more people in the door. So anything else you want to say to my homies?
I have a terrific report that we're giving away to them. You know what? Why don't we do this? Why don't I make a page and I'll give it away there?
Nice.
That would be the easiest. That way they can just go there, and this is a very comprehensive report. There's an incredible checklist included in it that is everything you need to know about your marketing. And if you don't understand it, then you know you need some help. And it has tons of case studies in it. And I'd love to give that to your listeners.
Awesome. And email that to me also at howard@dentaltown.com.
I will.
Ryan,
I'll send it to you.
When you post your podcast, where are you going to post it under, buddy? And then under marketing, we have marketing, dentist websites. Yeah, I would put it under marketing. So what is your 1-800 number?
855-980-5492. 855-980-5492.
But Joy, I think you're the bomb, and homies out there, I mean, I know you want to go take an implant course. I know you want to learn how to do Invisalign. I get it. I love it too. But you got to know your numbers. You got to know your new patient acquisition costs. You couldn't even make it through Shark Tank. What is your new patient acquisition cost? What is your patient spend? I know for America, it's $6,500 over 5 years for a dentist, $6,500 for an orthodontist over 2 years. What is your acquisition cost? What is your spend? When someone says they're selling their practice for $500,000, that doesn't even mean anything. Is that $500,000 for 1,000 patients, 2,000 patients, 3,000 patients? So know your numbers. And Joy Gendusa, thank you so much that on a Friday afternoon you wanted to come on my show and spend an hour with my homies today. I thoroughly enjoyed talking to you.
I thoroughly enjoyed talking to you. You are hilarious. Thank you.
And I want to read your husband's book.
My husband's book?
I mean, he married someone 10 years younger that owns a $50 million company. I want to read that damn book. Can he send me an autographed copy of that book?
He's got his own good company that makes tons of money.
All right. Well, hey, thanks for spending an hour with me today.
My pleasure.
Hi,
I'm Joy Gendusa. Thanks for listening to my podcast with Dr. Farran. As a special gift to Dentistry Uncensored listeners, I'm offering a free dental marketing kit. Go to PostcardMania.com/Howard Farran to download a comprehensive dental marketing checklist for you or your office manager to use to make sure no marketing dollar is wasted. It covers everything from scoping out your competitors to designing a direct mail piece to optimizing your local search results and more. You'll also get a collection of real case studies from dental clients of mine that include all the details of their campaign and results, the ones you heard me talking about on the show. This way you can see what's worked for other practices and use that data to inform your future marketing efforts. Go to postcardmania.com/Howard Farran today if you're serious about growing your practice.